Okay. Welcome, Aries. So today is May 31st, and we're going to be doing a general reading for Sun in Aries or Ascendant in Aries. If you have a lot of Aries in your chart, this could apply to you. So let's just get into it. All right. First up, we have the Moonology deck, and we're just going to look for what your main themes are just this minute. Or, well, we'll see what comes up. It could be the next week, it could be the next month. I channel information, so I'm not always in charge of the time period, but you'll see when it comes up. What do we need to know for Aries? Okay. Time to take a breathe out. So, yep. So we're just finishing up the sign of Aries. And apparently, when I get connected to Aries, it's like they're still having a lot of, I want to say like a lot of upheavals, but it feels like this is a lot of stuff that is happening inside of them, not necessarily external, but I feel like this has a lot to do with how they want to approach the world. So I think that it's important for Aries to, take a beat, kind of see what is happening with them, because they feel this energy in this card makes me feel like they're being very hyper right now, and probably over the course of the last week, which could make sense because we did just finish up Mercury retrograde. I don't know where Mercury was in their chart. I didn't check that out, but it's now going direct. So, the shadow side is all done as well. And I don't know, I just think that they have to kind of take a breather, and I won't be surprised if the Justice card shows up, because that usually tells me about a period of adjustment. And that's kind of like what this feels like. It feels to me like they've been doing a lot of sorting out around their life really over the course of the past year is what it feels like to me. So I think they're having a new, Aries is very competitive. They are the warrior, they're the leader, they're all of that. And so I think that right now this is telling me that they're having a new game plan, which does make sense because Pluto just got into the sign of Aquarius, and Pluto is all about transformation. And I'm not an astrologer, but I do believe that Aquarius is about service to the world, and Aries is all about I am. So how are they going to be approaching the world, and what is their new place in the world? I'm not sure why they're having that. Spirit just said that to me, why they're having a new place in the world. So there could be a big thing going on about people raising their vibration. Could be things related to, if you are into it, like the new a new timeline that they're starting, things like that. I don't really talk a lot about that, but I don't really get a lot of information psychically about that. But it did come up recently, and apparently it's coming up now. So we'll see what's going to happen. So prosperity lies ahead. Woohoo! So that's cool. Take a time out and look on what's going ahead. And like I said, how they're approaching the world. Taurus is very stubborn. They're very like slow moving as far as, you know, the Knight of Pentacles and stuff like that. But Taurus is about like money, finances, things like that. So, and you know, that could be a good reason why they're taking a time out, because if they're moving into a period where, you know, Taurus is like very like slow, kind of methodical, not as methodical as like Capricorn, but still, you know, they are able to get a running head start and things like that. So we'll see. You are good enough. Full Moon in Virgo. So apparently Aries has been feeling like there's been a little bit of a bad rap and potentially feeling like they're not really like fitting in. But this is why in the beginning we're talking about finding their place in the world, finding their place in this new timeline. So, you know, if they're feeling kind of, or if you're feeling kind of like left out and not really sure what you're doing right now, especially because, like I said, there has been a lot going on for you. And rethinking, you know, like your strategies and stuff like that. So Spirit is saying, you're not Rudolph. These are not reindeer games. So I just think it's important for you to kind of taking a little bit of time myself, because I do channel information and I'm trying to listen to what Spirit has to say in these things as well, not just what the cards are talking about. So what Spirit is saying is, with this card here about prosperity, if you're looking for a new job or a new career or something like that, because Spirit is talking to me about going into new business opportunities and things like that, that there can be opportunities where it would be an advancement for you, you know, something higher up, or something where you may not feel like you fit into that job or that position, but we want you to be able to explore these things anyway. Because Spirit is talking about alchemy. So I really won't be surprised if the Temperance card shows up, because that is a card about alchemy. It's a card about patience and healing and things like that. But in one of the decks that I use, it does have to do with alchemy. And so what that would imply to me is that you've had these jobs in the past and different things. So it's like when you're looking at your resume, it's not just about what your job description is, but what did you actually do in that job? What did you have to do in these positions that you've had over the course of your life? And also life experience as well. What kind of life experience do you have that can also apply to the job or the position or where it is that you're trying to get to in your life? Seeing how all of these things fit together, because alchemy is about mixing different things that don't necessarily go together and then have it become a whole new thing. So don't let your past hold you back, the South Node. So like we said, it's like if things have not really been going so well, and like I said, it does feel like you have been having really like a difficult time with transformation. I will say this is my first time doing general readings for different signs. So this is very interesting for me to be getting a glimpse of the collective of a particular sign. Because I do look at, normally when I'm doing a reading for somebody, I look at their timeline and see where it is that they're coming from. And so with this, I'm looking at the collective of Aries and where they're coming from as a collective. And it just feels to me like they have been having, see, because Aries is, if they're, every sign has a mantra, I guess you would call it. Aries is I am. So they are the leader. They are all about like how they operate in the world themselves. It doesn't mean that they don't care about other people, but they want to be the rulers of the world, right? So, and yet they're the child of the zodiac. They're the first sign, so they're the child of the zodiac. So I just feel like they have been going through huge kind of changes, not just over the past year, but Spirit is telling me really over the past like 5 years. And if you're around like 28 or so, somewhere around there, or around the age of 56, if you're in a Saturn return, which would happen around the age of 28 or around the age of 56, then you'll definitely be going through a huge kind of like change right now. And especially because, you know, Pluto is doing this thing and it is all about like transformation. So if you're somebody that is sensitive, then, you know, I've never really seen Aries people as being sensitive, but that's what this is feeling like to me. They're going through a lot of like transformation, a lot of changes, and trying to go into this whole, you know, if you're looking at this whole situation about a new timeline, and Aries likes to be in control, and so we're trying to go into this new timeline, and then, you know, Aries doesn't feel like they're in control right now, so they don't necessarily know what to do when things are nebulous, we'll call it. So just feels like you were one way and now you're being asked to be a different way in the world. And so, you know, like I said, do not, I don't know if that makes sense, but just, you know, like it says, don't let your past like hold you back. Emotions are running high. This is just what I'm saying. You know what they say, we can't make this stuff up. You saw me, I shuffled the cards, and they said, like, I've not seen Aries as being like ruled by their emotions, but Aries is usually like very mentally oriented, but this is like saying right here that emotions are running high, and especially, you know, this is talking about a supermoon. I do believe that we just had a full moon. I haven't really, like I said, I'm not an astrologer, but I am psychic. I do channel a collective, and I just go by what Spirit tells me. And they were telling me when I started this that, you know, emotions were running high, and now this card is like showing up here. So it's like really interesting to me that that is like sitting there like that. So we'll see what's going to happen with the next set of cards here. Here's the Tarot of Mystical Moments. That's what we're working with this next section here. Tarot of Mystical Moments. This is an interesting deck. So let's see what's happening. Show us, Spirit. Show us what is happening for the sign of Aries and what is going on with the Aries collective. I am not really familiar with Chinese astrology. Spirit is telling me about the rat, the year of the rat. I don't think that this has to do with somebody being a rat. I think this has more to do with the Chinese astrology. So I'm not going to Google that and look it up, but that may have some sort of importance in your life right now. I don't know if this is the year of the rat or not, but you may be dealing with somebody that is of the year of the rat. So let's see what's happening. Okay. The High Priestess, which is the mystery of the unknown. She is the card of the counselor. She is somebody who is like very intuitive. Let's see. Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a really good card if you're looking for financial inspiration, things like that. This is a card that does have to do with, you know, your ship coming in, things like that. The Three of Wands is a card that can come up connected to a relationship triangle. It can come up connected to, you know, threes are a number of creativity. So they could very well be three different people in your group. This is interesting because when I'm looking at that, it does say to me that, you know, you can have like friends around you, people that are trying to inform you about what you should do, what you can do, whatever. But I think that this is an important time period where you are taking time out, like we said, like for yourself. The High Priestess is a card that I use for, you know, Spirit is guiding you the right direction. Nine of Wands, this is a completion of a cycle around your life. Some people would call the Nine of Wands the wounded warrior. To me, this is a card about how, you know, it is a three. 3 times 3 is 9. So it's still this time period about, you know, creativity. You know, the Three of Wands, Nine of Wands. So we're talking about these kinds of things, but 9 to me are about like you can't really go back. This to me says that you would have to go over some sort of a hurdle in your life. And with the Ten of Swords here, this is about mental, emotional stress made physical, is the way that I call it. Ten of Swords. Some people call the Ten of Swords about an ending. I think of it as a very stressful time period, thinking that everything is going to kind of fall apart and everything. But, you know, like we said, like emotions are running high right now. And trying to have things be stable. The Four of Wands is a card that has, to me, I use the Four of Wands about like a change in home, but it's also a card that has a lot to do with like stability, things like that. You could be having a lot of like stress around your house as well, not just like if you're trying to move, but like emotions and stress, all this stuff happening in and around your house and trying to, and house is not just about the, it's not just about where you live, but your physical body is also like the house of your spirit. So you could be just having a lot of like stress running around in there and trying to stabilize your own kind of like physicality. So this is why we're talking about kind of over here taking time out and kind of seeing where it is that you want to go, gain some stability, try not to like stress about things. This can be a good time period for you to meditate, to clear your chakras, things like that. It just feels that I was wondering, I saw the high priestess come up here, and I was initially thinking that it was going to be the high priestess, and so here we go, right? So it's another three. It's what I call the big three, the Empress. She is about like creation, taking care of things. Aries is about initiating things as well. So you have the Three of Wands, nine, the Empress, all about like creativity. This can be also related to, I was going to say, the Six of Cups is related to the past. It's related to children, things like that. To me, this can be a lot about if you are, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm not saying that this is for everybody. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But if this is a time period where you are looking for pregnancy, you're thinking about pregnancy, this can be a difficult time period, Ten of Swords, to be going into, three up here, this is a three, right? And then you have four over here, right? So if you have like three kids and looking into a fourth or however many kids you might have, kind of juggling things, this may not be the right time to be having a kid or to be looking into that right now. But with the Empress card here and the High Priestess, it is a big time that is about creativity. So looking at various ways to be creative in your life. If you're looking to, like, having a baby can also be about if you're starting your own business. So we won't be surprised if the Ace of Wands shows up around here too, because the Ace of Wands is a card about entrepreneurial type things as well. So we'll see what it is that goes on. Six of Wands is a card of victory. It is, yeah. So things are definitely in the process of moving forward, like strength. So Ace of Cups, which is also a card about like changing home, taking care of yourself emotionally, things like that. So if you are looking to have kids, right, or another child, the Ten of Swords can say that it's a stressful situation, right? But with the Six of Wands, Strength, Ace of Cups, it is something that is showing up here as being possible. It would just mean, because the Six of Wands is a card about victory, and you do have the Strength card, which is about inner strength, right? So this is why we're talking about, taking time out for yourself and how you're looking forward. When somebody's pregnant, that would definitely be a big reason why emotions can be running high if you're a female, which men can be dealing with like pregnancy too. Your girlfriend, your wife, your daughter is looking into like, or being pregnant, trying to get pregnant, things like that. But this would just say to me that it's like, take your time, relax, breathe, take care of yourself physically. Like, because it said the Ten of Swords is about mental, emotional stress made physical, a lot of chaos related to the house, right? So if there are a lot of people running around there, right, then you want to kind of take that into consideration as well. Like I said, with the Four of Wands being the card that I use for a change in home, and the Ace of Cups can also be a female child. It can also represent a birth, things like that, especially the Empress card sitting here. The Ace of Cups can also bring up things related to, children. It would represent like a daughter, a female child coming into the world. But it also suggests like taking care of yourself, like emotionally, Ten of Swords, Ace of Cups there, victory, right? Like kind of all this stuff here about like taking care of your inner self, the strength. That's what the strength card is all about. So I would look into that. All right. See what the Vintage Tarot has to say. See what we can get about. See what we can get about clarifying these cards. Spirit, show us what Aries needs to know. What are we gonna find out here about clarifying these cards for the Aries people that are here? I will say this. This does look like it has to do with, like children, pregnancy, things like that. If we look at this, like you don't have pentacles running around here. So this doesn't necessarily say to me that it has to do with work-related things, okay? However, if I look at this in terms of work, right? If you are trying to have your own business, things like that, looking into financial endeavors, all of that kind of stuff, right? Then this, to me, would bring up things that you might have wanted to do in the past, right? The Empress card here, the Ace of Cups, right? Nine of Wands. This would definitely be bringing in things that you wanted to do from the past, things that got delayed. We don't have the Hangman card here, but the Six of Cups does bring up things related to the past, also like friends, stuff like that. And so if there was something that you wanted to do in the past, something that got put by the wayside, but now it's like coming up again, right? Like if you've been doing a lot of stuff that is about like other people, because like we're talking about all of this like stress going on around here, right? So if you're looking into doing something for yourself, then this to me would say it should be something that feeds you on an emotional level, something that feeds you on a creative level, something where you can have fun. If I'm looking at this in terms of like business things, I would say that this is not somebody that belongs in an office. This is somebody that needs to be out, out on the road, out in the world, things like that. Not to be constricted, right? Because Four of Wands, like house, this can also be like four walls, stuff like that. A lot of stress being inside the four walls, and you need to have like your own strength, being able to do your own thing, stuff like that. This balloon is telling me about somebody needing to rise up, somebody who is not being somebody who is letting go of the past, somebody who's letting go of their friends, especially the three of Wands up there being about the, the ships coming in and going off on new adventures and stuff like that. So let's see what else is happening here. Come on. Definitely feels like there is a search for independence, even if you are having to be a part of a group. Like if you are part of like a bigger family situation here, or a bigger sort of like company situation, because it does feel to me like there are a lot of people here who are around you, but it feels like you're looking for a way for you to, Aries looking for a way for Aries to stand out on their own. So, to be separate from the crowd, to be noticed. So, yes, Five of Pentacles, usually worry about money, finances, things like that. The Devil card is a lot about limitations and restrictions, usually self-imposed limitations and restrictions. So like I said, it's like if you're, you are good enough. So the Five of Pentacles, to me, if we're looking at things that are related to money, finances, things like that, it would tell me that fives are a number of change. So this can be a big time period about like change around money, finances, things like that. Usually when the Five of Pentacles comes up, this is somebody who's going to look at a different avenue, things like that. People point out that in this card, there is this anchor sitting here. So, if you've been in this place where you've been like anchored, stuck, whatever, it can be time to move on in a different direction here. The Five of Pentacles usually tells me that you're worth more than what it is that you're making right now, especially with, the Queen of Wands sitting here. The Queen of Wands is, my teacher calls it like the witch card. Is somebody who has like, who has their power, has more of their female energy going on here. So whether you are male or female, it's about, there could very well be like a female person here, female energy anyway, somebody who is around you who could be like limiting you, but it does talk about like your goals, dreams, aspirations are sitting here as well. So see, there's a Justice card, which does talk about going in a period of adjustment, things trying to balance out around your life. Again, Four of Swords talks about taking the time out, taking a breather, relaxing, meditating, things like that. Things being on, it's a card that does talk about things being on hold, usually for a period of 4, especially while you are in this sort of period of like transition here. Again, Six of Wands here. The Knight of Wands, that is a card that is ruled by Aries. King of Wands, also like fire sign, usually Leo. Again, this is the Nine of Wands. You have the Nine of Wands up here as well. Ace of Swords, new ideas. There's the Ace of Wands. So we have Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, and like all these kind of things here going on about like new beginnings. So when I'm looking at these cards, the Queen of Wands tells me that there can be a female person, very strong female person, somebody that would be passed away who is also trying to help you. I feel like with the Knight of Wands here, this can be somebody who is male energy, but somebody where the Queen of Wands is like being around them and also like trying to help them, right? Because if there's this thing that goes on here about like worry about money, finances, limitations, restrictions, like we're talking about up here, right? It's like, you are good enough if you're like limiting your own self. And the the devil card is ruled by the sign of Capricorn, but it's also a lot about a power struggle as well. So uh, it can be important if you're not really playing games with people, not letting them have power over you, not, especially if they are, if somebody is trying to keep you down, if somebody has, put you down, whatever. And then like, if you're somebody who is prone to like owning that, this is a time period where it's time for you to go out, explore things. Spirit is saying that if you have to have some sort of like education, that it doesn't necessarily have to be big kinds of education, even if it's just, something where there is like a class or training program, things like that. We don't have cards here that have to do with different kinds of education, but that's what Spirit is like talking to me about. So that's what I'm talking to you about. Even if there was some sort of smaller sort of class training program, things like that, that could allow you to advance somehow or another, get your foot in the door someplace else, then that's still kind of like an option going on there. So, you're coming here from the Knight of Wands, and then you have Queen of Wands, King of Wands. That's what you would call like a divine pairing. But this definitely feels like there is a growing up, a moving up. Some people call it a glow up. Basically, there is, you have the Empress card here with the Victory card, Six of Wands. That's a lot about what that is. Victory, again, like you have like 3 over here, 9 over here, more cards that are related to 3s, which are creativity. Ace of Swords, new beginnings, victory over whatever the wall is. Like I said, trying to get over hump, trying to get over whatever the obstacles are. There are new ideas coming in here, especially if there is somebody that is a Libra around you. The Justice card is ruled by the sign of Libra. The Ace of Wands is here. Again, the Ace of Wands is a card that does come up connected to new beginnings. It's a very entrepreneurial type card. So if you are trying to have your own business, if we're looking at this thing here in terms of children, things like that, with the Devil card sitting here and the Ten of Swords there may be difficulty around pregnancy, but the way that this is speaking to me, what Spirit is saying is that, don't limit yourself in that. If you want to have children, then there are other options. There are, like, there are like adoption things as well, which would bring in this like Libra, like justice, legal opportunities, things like that. New ideas, looking in ways of being able to, looking at ways of being able to do that for yourself. So there are opportunities that are sitting here being presented to you. It's just a matter of, like we said, like the limitations are over here. They're on like over here on this side. This is the past. This is where you are now. This is the future. So, limitations are sitting behind you. This is a time period about being able to move forward. Like we said in the beginning, finding your way in the world and finding out where you want to be, what it is that you want to do. So we have all of these aces over here. We have your goals, dreams, aspirations. There is this sort of hurdle sitting here. However, the Nine of Wands like twice in here and back, but you have the Strength card here, which is ruled by the sign of Leo. So, you do have the strength, you do have opportunities being presented to you in terms of wherever it is that you're trying to get to, right? We do have Four of Swords here. We do have Four of Wands over there. Four is our number of stability, things like that. So there may very well be things, if you're looking for things in terms of like work, money, finances, things like that, with the Four of Wands over here, you may very well have to end up like moving someplace if you're worried about money, finances, things like that. Right, the move card is like sitting there, so there can be opportunities that are being presented to you, especially if you are more like landlocked, things like that. The Ace of Cups would talk about being around like water, things like that. You have the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups. So looking for a different elemental environment. So, Ace of Wands is the fire, that's the city. The Ace of Cups, someplace that's around water. The Ace of Swords, like someplace that is more like open air, things like that, not like the city, more like suburban, things like that. So you could very well be looking at living in a different place, like elementally. So sometimes the Devil card comes up connected to people that are in jail and things like that. So it just tells me about people being like stuck and power struggles, things like that, and really more about like self-imposed limitations and restrictions. So there is always a way out. But this is, to me, you have the Knight of Wands, King of Wands. It tells me that you would have to be putting energy. The Knight of Wands is a card that comes up connected to like sexual energy, things like that, but also kinetic energy. Where are you putting your energy, right? Putting energy into like people from your past. There's going to be limitations, people from the past or opportunities in the past, things where there have been limitations and restrictions, right? Again, Three of Wands, like the ship is coming in. There's victory here, time for you to be able to be in charge, be in like Leo mode, right? Taking advantage of like your goals, dreams, aspirations being presented to you. So like I said, there can be like stress going on around here, especially if you are looking into if you're looking to move, change in home, stuff like that. If you're looking to be in a different country, right? The Justice card can bring up things that are connected to like immigration, things like that. If we're going to look at situations around that particular area, right? There can be a path to like citizenship here. There can still be paths to like new job opportunities, business opportunities, things like that, right? So it just keeps telling me that there are opportunities that are being presented to you. This month might be a little bit difficult, but what I'm being told here is that over the course of the next like month or so, things are going to be improving. They are going to be looking up. So this is why I said like I'm not always looking into what's happening over the course of the next like day, the next week, or whatever. I just get the information the Spirit presents to me. And because people like to know like things about timing, stuff like that. So this does feel like this is all about like starting something new, right? So if you're looking to start something new, and this does tell me where things have been kind of like stuck, then if you've been in this sort of a rut, then it can take a little bit of time to kind of get your wheels going and stuff like that. But I don't know, this does feel to me like there are people who are coming in around you that are going to be able to help you. So don't limit yourself. I'm watching psychically about people coming in that have an ability to bring you opportunities, new people coming in around you, right? So you're not dealing with people from the past situations, things like that are being connected to your limitations and restrictions. So this is a time period where you're looking for new people, new opportunities, new places to be, people looking to change where they live. And, changing where you live does not necessarily mean changing your house. Right? If you are somebody who is spending all of your time at work, right, then that becomes where it is that you live, right? So this is why we're looking at the Six of Cups as well, right? In terms of that being about like having like fun and stuff like that. So we would just say to you, Spirit, we would just say to you to take time, have some fun, and relax a little bit, deal with whatever kind of headaches you're having, things like that. And because when you are having fun, then because this to me feels like there has been like a lot of like seriousness going on, and so they're talking about, Spirit is talking to me about like loosen up, lighten up a little bit, allow yourself to talk to new people coming in around you, because new people coming in are going to be able to bring you new ideas, new opportunities, things like that. So this is not going to be connected to the new things coming in around you. It's not going to be connected to where it is that you have been. It's not going to be connected to, like you've been beating this pavement, the same pavement for the past like 20 years. This is going to be new things, new opportunities, new lands, new whatever. So we'll just see what we can see here about. We'll pull like 5 more cards and see if there are any other messages that Spirit wants to bring to us for the sign of Aries. So, Queen of Cups, again, this is a very emotional time period. Again, like female energy being around here to be able to help you, even if it is a male, they may very well be female. It could be a gay man, somebody who is ruled by their emotions. But, this does tell me about needing to be aware of people who kind of like drain your energy as well. Right? This to me feels like it is somebody who is kind of melancholy, somebody who can be dealing with depression, things like that. Right? So just kind of like be aware of things like that. Again, 3 of Wands is here. So which does talk about, like opportunities being presented to you, ship coming in, things like that. But there's definitely some sort of like an ending happening here. Right? If you've been dealing with things that are related to like addiction of some sort, like part of the Devil card can be related to, it can be related to like sex addiction, it can be related to drugs as well. 7 of Cups is a card that I use related to fantasy escapism, people that drink too much, things like that. So if there have been issues that are related to this sort of a thing, right? Loss, disappointment, right? Like Queen of Cups sitting here, someone who's melancholy, things like that, right? If this is the one who's had kids or people around her that have been dealing with these issues, right? This can be a good time period for whoever would be connected to like the addiction losses, whatever. There can be things that are being presented here that can be helpful, new beginnings, like we said, right? Because you do have the 10 of Cups here, which is about marriage, happiness, family, right? So positive outcomes about things in general. Seven of Cups is a card that can bring up like a lot of like emotional choices, but Five of Cups is a card about like endings, things like that. But you know, people like to look at, you know, how this guy is only looking at the cups that are spilt over, but there are opportunities here, a new beginning. The bridge is there, you know, two cups sitting over here. So there are, you know, bridges are about being able to go in a new direction, cross over into a new land, a new way of being, things like that. So opportunities like that are being presented to you. So there is a positive outcome that is like sitting here. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for checking in, and good luck, whatever it is that you're going through. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, for more videos coming down the road. Thank you so much.